Hey everyone, welcome to Saturday Night Live. Last one for the year because, life. We got Christmas and New Year's and all that. So we'll pick up lives again next Saturday. So get in the chat, let me know that everybody can hear me. And tonight, again, another Sam Adams Winter White Ale. Be sipping on that. So let me know in that chat you're alive and that you guys can hear me. I know normally during the year during the season I usually have some sort of decorations with lights, whether it be one of the SBRs all nice and pretty, but tonight we've got that. We have a Red Ryder BB gun with a compass in the stock and a thing that tells time. The thing that tells time is wrong way. Right there. So, that is a limited edition Christmas Story Red Ryder BB gun. Actually, found it at Walmart a couple of years ago. Wasn't badly priced. I wanted it. I have, adult money. So I bought it. And brought it home. And, Guru Jr. saw it and literally threw a fit. He wanted one. So we had to get another one, but I told him they were sold out and we couldn't get one. We wrapped it up. We hid it behind the bookcase and we went through Christmas. He opened his presents. He was all excited. He was done. Kind of bummed he didn't get a Red Ryder BB gun. That's okay. I said, hey, I think there's another present back there. And, it was the BB gun. So he unwrapped it and he was excited. He loved it. In fact, I did a review on it, I think 2 years ago. So you can go back and look for it in the list of all the videos, a full review on it. And yes, that's me running around in a pink bunny suit that Mrs. Guru got me just for that video. And I was going to wear it to class tomorrow. I don't know where it is. It's in a bin somewhere, stored. So I'd have to find it. All right, let's get into why you guys are actually here. We got some good information for y'all tonight, and then we'll do a little BSing. And don't forget, we're going to be giving away Clay. The Claymore. Front toward Franny, little plush, little squishy guy. It's got Velcro area on the back so you can attach them to your chest. All you have to do to win this is get in the comment section. Let me know you exist. Let me know you're alive. As I turn my head away from the mic. And then about 10 minutes till 8, Mrs. Guru will shove everybody into the little spinning wheel of winning stuff. And we will pick somebody. Now, we've changed it up a little bit. So, like it said in the pinned comment at the top, super chats help, but they won't get you any more entries. What will get you entries is the more you chat, the more entries you'll get. So this is to ensure you guys really get into the chat, participate, and give us a bunch of stuff to read. So make sure you guys get in the chat it up, and we will be good to go. Now, come next month, the Glock Series 6, or Gen 6, I should say, is coming out. And I was wondering if you guys would like a review on that. Get like a, G17 Gen 6, do a full burn down review, etc., etc. Those are not cheap. I don't even know how much they are. So, obviously, every little bit will help toward the tool fund. So, just letting you guys know. All right, let's jump into this. All right, so first and foremost, I always plug the merch store. It's down in the description below, a link to the merch store, and you guys can pick up everything from, the Navy way, that it's not Gander way, Guns and Coffee, and of course, our 250th American anniversary shirt, where it's talking about freedom through violence since 1776. And, you get your 5.56, your FAFO, guns and ammo, Disabled but Deadly, Houthi hunting season, bunch of stuff in there. If guys ever need to get a hold of me, obviously on our website, gunguruactual.com, is a little message area, and it has all the links for our media, just in case this one ever went away. You can also find us on Rumble, BitChute, Grey Hive, and Odyssey. If you guys are interested in classes and you need your Connecticut pistol permit or a multi-state class, you click on this link right here and it will take you to an area for you to sign up for pistol permit classes. And for all my Utah students, you know, if you click on the Utah law link right there, the little Utah flag, you will go straight to BCI and you'll be able to see all the updated Utah laws, because as a Utah permit holder, you need to stay up to speed on it. So I help you guys out by just giving you guys a link. All right, now let's talk about why you're all here. We finally got one. December 18th, this was released. It is to the Supreme Court of the United States, and this is for the NAGR v. Lamont case, which is dealing specifically with AR-15s and what they refer to as an LCM, or a large capacity magazine. So we've covered Saf's brief, we've covered the other brief from Flanagan v. Lamont, and we know what we're arguing against. Okay, we explain how everything is unconstitutional, this, that, and the other thing. So my phone's dinging. Since we covered that, we were waiting on what would the state say. What would be the state's argument? Well, you've seen, I'm sure, a bunch of videos where the state of Connecticut keeps postponing entering their brief. There was some sort of disconnect in communication to where it was supposed to be a couple of weeks ago, and they asked for an extension. Eddie put it out on his social media that the Supreme Court was sick and tired of Connecticut asking for extensions. Thus, they gave him an ultimatum of December 18th. That was not exactly accurate. And nobody's fault, just a lack of communication, because a couple of days later, Supreme Court, or the CCDL came out and said with the Supreme Court case that the state of Connecticut was granted an extension all the way out till January 12th. And that was the end of it. They didn't say anything else. Eddie was like, that's flat out false. It's not right. And we were looking at the information for, at the time, what was called Grant v. Ravella. So it was Grant v. Lamont, which transformed into Grant v. Ravella. And when you look that case up, yeah, it was December 18th. Well, the case has turned into Grant v. Higgins. And that did get extended all the way out to January 12th. So we are waiting on...
Hey, it's Scout Willis. Check out my new song, It Ain't Nothing, on YouTube and YouTube Shorts. Your one-stop shop for music.
I have no idea where that's coming from.
It ain't nothing at all.
That was weird. Très bizarre. All right. I apologize for that weird thing. I don't know. There's a bunch of tabs open, so I don't know what happened. All right, let's get back into the Supreme Court. So this is what the state of Connecticut says. In their statement, and I have a paper copy, and I'll just scroll through so you can see. I will do my best to, after this live stream, link this PDF that you see on the screen right into the description so you can go read it for yourself. There's 40 pages. I did go through it last night, and it's boring, and their arguments are crap. But let's see what the statement of the question presented is. Whether the Court of Appeals properly declined to enjoin Connecticut's assault weapon ban and LCM laws in the preliminary and undeveloped record before it, when lower courts did not decide the disputed factual questions, petitioners' claim depends on petitioners waived any objective to the two independent alternative grounds to affirm. So they go on to talk about the following proceedings are related to these cases: NAGR v. Lamont, National Association for Gun Rights v. Lamont, there's two of them there, and Grant v. Lamont. So we do have, obviously, Flanagan v. Lamont, which is part of GOA and all that, while Grant v. Lamont is part of SAF. We got all these BS pages. Introduction. This kind of irritated me because they were pulling at the heartstrings. It says in 2012, a mass murderer killed 26 children and teachers at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Connecticut. He used an AR-15 style and large capacity magazine, firing 154 rounds in less than 5 minutes. Connecticut responded by strengthening its restrictions on assault weapons, which we know are not a thing, and LCMs, while preserving residents' right for self-defense with thousands of other lawful weapons. So they're saying right there in this little blurb is, yeah, we got rid of large capacity magazines. Yeah, we got rid of AR-15s, but residents of Connecticut can still do self-defense with a ton of other legal guns that we allow, including many semi-automatic rifles and handguns. Handguns. They haven't tried to go after any handguns. 14 states and the District of Columbia have enacted comparable laws in every circuit court to consider these restrictions after New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruin, so the Bruin case, was upheld them, and the court has so far denied every petition seeking review. This is not the case to change course. So what they're talking about here is every circuit court has upheld, yes, you can ban the AR-15. And that's mainly because a lot of these circuit court judges are liberal nut jobs. And they are like, no. You've heard everything from AR-15s are not protected under the Second Amendment. And they really botch Bruin, especially like here in Connecticut. One of our cases was before the Second Circuit. And the state argued, that AR-15s are allowed to be banned because they are dangerous or unusual, which is not what Bruin said. Bruin specifically said dangerous and unusual. And the court said, yeah, you're right. Boom, and upheld it. And that's why all of these are before the Supreme Court. The last one, though, is what really kind of irritates me. This court has so far denied every petition seeking review. So basically they're saying, hey, the Supreme Court has never heard one of these cases. Why start now? That's not the point. If the Supreme Court had heard any of these AR cases, they would have found it unconstitutional based on Bruin and text, history, and tradition and all that good stuff. The Supreme Court's just full of cowards right now. So hopefully they pick up, whether it's one of ours or the one out of Cook County in Chicago, the Illinois AR ban case. Or they just take all these cases that are right there right now looking for cert, cram them all together and accept them all. It doesn't matter. It's time for the Supreme Court to actually pick one of these up. And right now the state of Connecticut's using it as an argument saying, well, you've never done it before, why start now? Petitioners exclusively claim that the firearm's common use for lawful purposes answers the Bruin analysis and categorically forbids states from restricting it, without any inquiry into whether the restriction falls within historical tradition of banning dangerous and unusual weapons, which was the Heller case. Every circuit court to consider that question has rejected it, so there is no circuit split to resolve. So what they're talking about there, in case you guys are unaware, is there are different circuit courts throughout the country. Like, we fall under the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. Now, if the Second Circuit Court of Appeals says, nope, it's constitutional, you can ban the AR-15. But the Fifth Circuit out west says, no, that's unconstitutional, you can't ban the AR-15. There is now a split when it comes to these circuit courts. Right now, all the circuit courts have pretty much upheld it. And I know why. The states where there are circuit courts of appeal that would find this unconstitutional have never pretty much heard one of these cases, mainly because the states that are located within their jurisdiction are free. The Second Circuit Court and all the other circuit courts where they have heard these these appeals are blue states. They're heavily socialist, communist, totalitarianist, whatever you want to call it. They're Democrat-ran states. And those circuit courts are biased toward that particular party. Thus, they found it constitutional that they can ban these. That's what I've drawn from this. But that's just me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. You guys let me know down in the chat. Second, this is a uniquely poor vehicle to address the question presented. To start, petitioners do not mention, much less challenge, the lower court's holdings that they fail to satisfy the balancing of equities and public interest factors for obtaining a preliminary injunction under Winter v. so on and so forth. So the NAGR case is basically looking for an injunction. Just so you know, it's the Grant v. Higgins, the Flanagan v. Lamont, and the Cook County one are all cases that have worked their way through the courts and are now at the Supreme Court. This is dealing specifically with the injunction, which we asked the Second Circuit Court for an injunction until these lawsuits have been, played out, that Connecticut would not be able to enforce these laws. And the Second Circuit Court said no. And it's funny because one of the arguments Connecticut that gave was that there's no evidence they would actually enforce these laws. That being said, we all know they would. This is where that Heather story comes in, where Heather from Plymouth, that single mom, got scooped up and everything under HB Satan 7 to where she's being charged with a Class D felony for illegal possession of an assault weapon. So it is what it is. These are alternative independent grounds to affirm petitioners, waiver precludes, blah, blah, blah. You guys can read all of this. It's really, really, really boring. And I want to get to the reasons for denying the petition. So you can, right here, the statement of the case, Connecticut's assault weapon, LCM restrictions. And then you just get it. I tried reading this last night. It was killing me. It is absolutely boring. Okay, so reasons for denying the petition. Number one, there is no split of authority to resolve. That's what they're talking about, is the circuit courts are all unanimously saying, yeah, you can ban guns. The circuit courts unanimously rejected petitioners' claims. They all have. But they're all liberal. The purported conflicts petitioners identify are not relevant or outcome being determinative. This is a uniquely poor vehicle to address the question presented. Again, they're like, you've never heard a case like this, why start now? Petitioners waived any challenge to the lower court's alternative and independent grounds of affirmation. I think that's what that said. I can't speak. The actual record of the preliminary stage bars relief. They argue that. Petitioner's claim depends on disputed questions of facts, which I know you guys just love watching me flip through papers. But there was one big one. It was on page 21. Right here. This is what I really want to show you guys. And this falls under petitioners waived any challenge. It's on page 21. First, the record does not even show that Americans commonly own assault weapons or large capacity magazines, period. The record, they're like, yeah, they're not common, but they are. Petitioners submitted only 2 fact witness declarations approximating 1 page each from the individual plaintiff and NAGR representative, neither of which addressed ownership rates. So the state of Connecticut literally just saying, there's no proof these are commonly owned. Second, and more importantly, petitioners submitted no admissible evidence about why Americans choose to own assault weapons or LCMs, much less showing the small subset of Americans who own them commonly to do so for self-defense. So this right here this one's important. So they need to prove why Americans choose to own assault weapons, the AR-15, or large capacity magazines. I really hate this argument. One, the AR-15 is the most owned modern sporting rifle, we'll call it that, in America. It's America's rifle because they're easy. From young teenagers all the way to adults, they're super easy to shoot. And there's no such thing as a large capacity magazine. They are standard capacity magazines. These guns are designed to have a magazine that holds 30, not 10. Can they hold 10? Yes, but they're designed to have a 30-round magazine. Mainly when you look at the mag pouches, much like the one that's right over here, this mag pouch is designed to hold a magazine. Granted, this one's capped at 10. It's designed to hold a magazine that's capable of holding 30 rounds. If you took a 10-rounder, it's only yay big, it would get dropped into the bottom of this and you never get it out. The pouches are not designed for 10-rounders because the most common size is a 30-round magazine. Respondents again submitted a mountain of unrebutted evidence showing that assault weapons and LCMs are neither useful for self-defense, undercutting any notion that Americans choose them for that purpose. So they're saying, their argument is, well, Americans are more likely to use a handgun. Well, yes, because I'm able to walk around out in town concealed carrying a handgun. Can't walk around with my AR. But when it comes to home defense, AR-15s are really popular because they're super easy to use. There's multiple points of contact on your body, which means it's easier to aim, especially under pressure. The round is stout. It does what it needs to do. And it's easier and it's way more forgiving versus a handgun. But handguns are more readily available for carrying, thus handguns are more used in self-defensive situations, mainly because there are more times someone's going to be out and about in town doing things with their handgun where something bad will happen and they need to defend themselves, versus home invasions where the AR might be used. So for assault weapons, of the 2,714 incidents at the Heritage Foundation's Defensive Gun Use database, October 22, only 2% involved assault weapons discharged or not. Again, these are going to be used at home. And all 406 U.S. active shooter incidents between January 1st of 2000 and December 21 of 2021, only one involved an armed citizen intervening with an assault weapon. That was a church shooting where the gentleman heard the shots, pulled the gun from his home, left his house, and went and engaged the mass shooter at the church. And they go, it's an unsurprising result. The evidence shows that they are physically unsuited for typical self-defense scenarios. They are significantly heavier and longer than a typical handgun, making them less concealable. No one's trying to conceal an AR. And more difficult to use. Right there. False. They are easier to use. They absorb the recoil way better. They are more forgiving, and you have multiple contacts on your body between shoulder, hands, cheek, etc. They absorb more. Handguns, you're out there all the way. The poor gun's out there dangling, and one little boo-boo, and you're going to throw you around. And they are less readily accessible. That's because of the laws that are written. But there's plenty of people in free states that have ARs at their bedside, whether it's in 5.56, 2.23, or some other variant like a boombox or a sugar weasel or something like that, the 300 blackout. They are remarkably lethal against large numbers at range, but most self-defense, especially in the home, occurs within a distance of 3 yards. I just don't like the state's argument here. I think it's just disingenuous with half-truths and the usual liberal talking points. The Second Amendment isn't about what gun I'm using for self-defense or what gun I can easily carry or what gun I use for hunting. The Second Amendment's the Second Amendment. It shall not be infringed. End of story. It doesn't matter if it's a handgun, shotgun, rifle. It doesn't matter. So I will link this again, and you guys can read through it. Make up your own conclusions on it. You can see where the state is. Curious what they're going to say when it comes to Flanagan v. Lamont and especially Grant v. Higgins, which is what it is now. So again, guys, I will link this down in the description below after the live stream, and you guys will be able to look at it. All right, I didn't know if you guys saw this or not. 2 teenagers under arrest for trying to rob a Manchester store clerk at gunpoint Tuesday night. Surveillance video of the inside Neighbors Mart on Center Street shows one of the 2 masked suspects pointing a gun at the employee behind the counter. Police said the armed robbery happened approximately at 11:47 p.m., and the clerk repeatedly ordered the suspects to leave the store and then called 911. Yeah, the clerk wasn't even like phased. He's like, you need to get out. You need to just leave. The clerk didn't want to appear on camera, but he shared what unfolded. They tried to kill me? I think so. Very, very scary, and I think it was going to be my last day, he said. When police got the 911 call, officers deployed a drone with thermal imaging technology. The drone tracked 2 people running along Cheney Rail Trail about half a mile from the convenience store. Police said they found 19-year-old, keyed right there, 19-year-old Danny Rodriguez Jr. of Hartford hiding behind a dumpster. He was arrested and he was charged with the following: robbery in the first degree, conspiracy to commit robbery in the first degree, threatening in the first degree, criminal use of a firearm, carrying a dangerous weapon, breach of peace, second degree, possession of a large capacity magazine, carrying a pistol without a permit, possession of an assault weapon, Rodriguez booking photo, which I'll show you guys, reckless endangerment in the first degree, interfering with the police, and a 17-year-old suspect from Manchester was also arrested and charged with robbery, conspiracy to commit the robbery, threatening, reckless endangerment, breach of peace in the second degree, criminal attempt to commit assault, and interfering with police. A K-9 unit found a backpack near where the 2 were arrested, and inside, police found a loaded AK-47 style pistol and a high-capacity magazine containing 20 rounds of ammunition. That looks more like a crink, not an AK-47. It's a crink. It's a totally different type of gun. But whatever. They don't know. Again, I always say, they are not gun guys. Most cops out there are not gun guys. The clerk said he was thankful for police and their hard work. So, look at this, guys. This is illegal in Connecticut. 100% illegal. You can't own anything like that, firearm-wise, unless you're over 21. How'd the 19-year-old get a hold of it? I know. Right? According to the state of Connecticut, he used his pistol permit and he just went to his local FFL. But that's not how it works. Criminals don't do that. Criminals don't buy their guns at the FFL. So this gun is probably stolen from another state or from a residence here in Connecticut. Don't know. Couldn't tell you. But you can see right there, he's got steel-cased ammo. He's using garbage ammo. And that really looks like Tula. Which would make sense. Tula ammo for a piece of shit Russian gun. But I wanted to play this for you guys because it's got the full video in it. This is coming from Keisha Grant of NBC. I'm going to unmute it and I'll play this for you guys. Here we go.
This is the video you got to see to believe. This is exactly what it looks like. Manchester police say the 2 people that you see here with the dark clothing, hoods over their heads, masks over their faces. Police say they're actually 2 teenagers who walked into a convenience store late Tuesday night.
Right there. Right there's the gun, guys. Right there. So, we passed all these gun laws where you can't have that gun. Didn't stop him. You can't rob a convenience store. Didn't stop him. Laws only work for those that are willing to follow the laws.
and tried to rob the place. As you can see, the clerk at this Neighbors Mart wasn't having it. Now, he's blurred out there at the top of your screen to protect his identity, but if you listen closely, you can hear him yelling at them, telling them to get out. There's a bit of back and forth. You even see one of the suspects lunge at the clerk. After all of that, they took off empty-handed before police arrived. The clerk, he wasn't hurt. But take a look at the police report. They didn't get very far. Officers used a drone equipped with thermal imaging to locate the suspects. They found this guy. That's 19-year-old Danny Rodriguez Jr. They found him hiding behind a dumpster, and his 17-year-old accomplice, he wasn't too far behind. This is an evidence photo released by police. They used dogs to track down this weapon and the ammo that goes along with it. Now, the 19-year-old suspect is being held on a $1 million bond. He is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, but police have hit him with 11 different charges. Same goes for his 17-year-old accomplice. But
now, my question is, how many of those charges will actually stick? How many of them will be pled down? Etc., etc. We know how it goes in Connecticut, right? It's not their fault. They don't know any better. They didn't have the same opportunities the rest of us had. Blah, blah, blah. Honestly, I think, yeah, he's 19. He's an adult. Guess what? Hammer him. You have the video evidence. Yes, he is innocent until proven guilty. Give him his day in court and hammer him. And hammer the 17-year-old. That's it. Make an example out of him. Show them that, hey, crime doesn't pay. But, of course, they're not going to do that. Just so you know. I mean, I don't know what's going on with this state, but that is insane. I got to say this, though. That clerk, great big brass cojones for literally just standing there and just yelling, get out. Unfazed. Just get out. Get out. Did not comply. Did not fold in fear. He stood his ground, told him to get out. And, well, these clowns left. Clerk wasn't hurt. And as far as I know, there was no money taken. Now, granted, the cops used a drone, which I did not know any of our PDs here in Connecticut had drones with thermal. That's pretty nutty. But I'm glad they were able to catch these two. And we'll see how it plays out. We'll see if it gets pled down, etc. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. And I saw this. I shared this on my Facebook page for Gun Guru Actual. And it says, it is from the gun violence journalism that sparks change. Concealed handguns create a climate of fear, and the gun industry's own research reveals this. Now, I brought this up because this is basically coming from NSSF. That's the data they're using. And this is an article from, in partnership with the Rolling Stone. What I think it's funny is concealed handguns create a climate of fear. Yet in Connecticut, we banned open carry for no reason. I always tell people, I'm like, hey, during the public hearing, when they banned this, they asked the politician, how many times have you ever seen someone open carry? And he was like, well, never. Because they were trying to explain how it was like an existential crisis in our state. And I've seen it here and there, very few, far between, out in public. And when we pressed, like, why are we banning this if it's not a problem? Like, the politicians never seen it, and most people I ask have never seen it. And then they explained to us, well, it's designed to stop criminals from carrying guns. I have no idea how that works. Criminals don't open carry. They conceal carry. They're not even supposed to have a gun. I mean, they're criminals, by whatever. I digress. So let's take a look at this story. For as long as there's been gun rights movement, the movement leaders, industry representatives, and academic supporters have argued that carrying firearms made Americans more secure. Studies conducted over the past 14 years by the National Shooting Sports Foundation, that's NSSF, which is a Connecticut-based lobbying company, the Gun Industries Trade Group, have meanwhile found that practices is a boon for business. But what is good for benefits, according to NSSF study from that period, has resulted in harmful trade-off. As armed Americans have moved into public spaces, people in every corner of society have felt an increased sense of danger. Why? Because they don't know who's carrying, because everybody's concealed carrying. Okay, that means that the criminals are going to second guess who they rob, because they might be robbing someone or attacking someone that can defend themselves effectively with a firearm. That's why states that usually have a majority population that carry guns are safer with lower crime rates than inner cities that are usually heavily blue with very restrictive gun rights, because the criminal element knows the citizenry won't be armed. Thus, they can get away with impunity of robbing people, hurting them, and taking advantage of them. Like Chicago, like New York, LA, San Francisco. Seattle. I can just keep naming cities. And they all have one thing in common. They're all super blue majorities. But whatever. That market research report produced in 2018, titled Multi-Generational Research, Purchases, Perceptions, and Participation for the Firearms Industry, was based on a survey of 1,800 people, spanning 4 generations from baby boomers all the way to Gen Z, and they asked a wide range of questions covering a variety of gun-related topics. Now, listen, I know you're going to look at this number, 1,800 people, and say, well, that's not that many. When it comes to statistics and being able to extrapolate information, yeah, 1,800 is plenty of people. You can get a pretty good feel. I hate statistics. I'm not a statistician, but I do understand how they work. I took a lot of stats when I went for my MBA. In spite of these findings, the NSSF is pushing a constitutional Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act. That's where this is going. A federal bill that would bar states from fully enforcing their laws on carrying, and the bill has broad support among conservative lawmakers, with 186 Republican co-sponsors in the House and 46 in the Senate. If the legislation arrives on President Trump's desk, he has pledged to sign it. So that's what it's about. They're probably asking blue states, like, hey, if we have national reciprocity, and people from Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Wyoming, Nebraska, Idaho could come to your state and carry a gun, would that make you feel less safe? Because now there's more people traveling that are concealed carrying. And the liberal loons are probably, yeah, it's scary. In addition to the 2018 report, the Trace of Rolling Stone obtained 4 other NSSF-funded reports covering a period between 2011 and 2024. Taken together, the report shows that, in plain writing, that concealed carry is a pivotal driver of the gun industry profits, and turning away from it would be detrimental to business. No, concealed carry is important because you can do it almost everywhere, as in states that allow you to conceal carry and open carry. People still conceal because, it's a little secret. Places like Connecticut that ban open carry, you are only allowed to conceal carry. And that's why we have people that conceal carry. Because if they want to carry a gun, that is the only way you can carry a gun, by law. After the findings were summarized for Senator Alex Padilla, a California Democrat, he's not biased at all, guys. The gun industry just isn't selling firearms, it's selling fear, even to its own customers. Padilla added that the reciprocity bill would decimate long-standing common sense gun regulations, making it impossible for states like California to choose how they protect their residents, and endangering countless law enforcement officials. Remember, I did a whole video on it, that the 2 major police unions came out saying it would put officers in danger more because people would be able to carry guns. This would be an outrageous federal overreach and wouldn't make anyone any safer. It would just make it easier for the gun lobby to turn a profit. And again, you guys want to read this whole article in its entirety, it is on the Facebook page, Gun Guru Actual. You can go there. and pull it up yourself and read it. But I think I'd like to see the data on this survey, like how many conservatives to liberals were polled, things of that nature. Honestly, I think an armed society is a polite and safe society. Again, it could be anecdotal, but places that are a little more rural, where more people carry, tend to be a lot safer than urban areas where people don't carry, strictly based on laws and obviously the concentration of people. But I don't know about this article. I really don't. I think they're just slanting everything to make it sound like concealed carry handguns create a climate of fear. I don't think normal people... Listen, here's my deal. If I walk into a store and I'm concealed carrying, nobody knows I have a gun. It's called concealed. So why would any person in that store be scared or have fear because they don't know that I have a gun? It literally called concealment for a reason. So a lot of these nutballs out there that these liberal wackadoodles are absolutely clueless when it comes to firearms. They have no idea, and they believe the tropes from the movies. They believe like the stuff they read on Reddit, versus actually taking a class, getting educated by a professional who knows what they're talking about, someone who's been doing this for a long time. Just like this from the trace, this particular picture right here. What irks me about this picture is this firearm is super unsafe. Just being wedged in your pants like that. One, where's the holster? Two, this trigger is exposed to the fabric of the red shirt, the jacket, the belt thing right here, the jeans, all of it. This is super unsafe. So whoever wrote this article and designed it, and they just picked this picture, they did it because it looks good, versus like when I teach classes and I show people like, here's how I conceal carry. And I have been asked in the past, like, oh, do you even use a holster? Yes, there is a holster. I would never carry a firearm without one. Mainly because too many things could get into the trigger and make the gun go off. Thus, always use a holster. Use the proper holster. Don't use one of these like Uncle Mike holsters that's made out of fabric or cloth. No, get yourself a decent Kydex or leather holster that is designed for in the waistband or out of the waistband concealed carry. It's that simple. And lastly, I want to jump over to this. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. I saw this morning. This is from 12/18. It is from Police Activities, the one that put the video up. This was put up by Mr. Guns and Gear. And it's a shoplifter. Now, originally, when we were looking at this, it said Canton. And Mrs. Guru was like, this happened here in Connecticut? And I was like, I'm pretty sure it's in Ohio. It is. It says right here on the bottom, Canton, Ohio. So I was going to play it for you guys so we could discuss. I thought it was pretty insane. So let's play it real quick. I'll let you guys watch it, and then we'll do some commentary on it, and then we'll get over to the chats real quick and get ready to do a drawing for Clay to Claymore, who's behind me.
I told her not to steal, bro.
You did it too, so we'll leave it up on her. You watched you walk over and put an item in the bag off the shelf.
All right, so this gentleman in the white shirt is like loss prevention for the store.
Please.
5550.
There's another loss prevention person. All right, no one's really paying attention to these two, but you can see he's starting to dig around for something. Look, there it is, and this guy's looking right at it. I'm sure he's probably crapping himself. Hey! So he screams, hey, hey, hey. Old boy pulls the trigger, and it goes click. Misfire. Or maybe one wasn't loaded. I'm not sure. But it malfunctioned nonetheless. It sounded like he pulled the trigger a couple more times. Let me see. Hey! Hey! No! Well, he racked it. This gentleman ran. Loss prevention guy jumps on it, trying to hold the arm down. Now, right there. Let me back it up. This is a uniformed officer. Now, he has his gun drawn. We're not going to pick on him on his grip. This guy is most definitely in the way. So he, the officer, cannot engage because the gentleman in the white shirt is in the way. Cop gives him a flying knee. Holster, couple of punches. Wrestle him to the ground.
Need help, need help. Give us your hands, now.
All right, we'll stop it there. So this douche canoe right here went from simple misdemeanor shoplifting up to attempted murder. The cop, I put this up, and people jumped in the comment section real quick on Facebook, and they were like, you know, cop should have just mag dumped him. And I agree. Unfortunately, first, when you slow the video down, you take a look at it, the guy in the white shirt was in the way, so he can't do much there. But once he was free and clear, he still had the firearm in his hand, and the cop, let's scrub to it. So white shirt moves out of the way. Cop comes in with a flying knee, hitting him, taking him out, folding him over, and you can see the gun is gone. And I'm not even sure where the gun goes. Okay, so it looks like he, right here, his arm's down, he swipes the gun, knocks it out of his hand. Flying knee, and then wrestling. So good on the cop.
You got firearms?
I personally think in the whole idea of using lethal force, I think the officer might have been cleared and justified to basically pump a bunch of rounds into that kid. But I don't know. I'm not a cop, not my thing. But I think it's good. The cop did a flying knee, holstered his weapon, took him to the ground, and they held him down and all that good stuff. Good job on that cop. I can't believe you went from simple shoplifting and escalated it that far. That's insane, guys. That's America today, though. I mean, times are spicy, times are weird, so that's weird. All right, so let me take a look at some of your chats because we only got about 9 minutes left, and maybe Mrs. Guru will show up with the little spinning wheel. If not, I'll text her. So let's see what's going on. There's my pin chant, and we got Frothy Milkshake. Where all the real fellas at? Lewis says, I can't wait to see what state of Connecticut response is. Yeah, there it is. Viking Queen, good evening. Good evening, Viking Queen. Robert Cochran says, good evening. Lewis says, good evening. And then Cochran just says, I'm good. Frothy Milkshake says, oh my God, it's the lock and load guy. Listen, Gun Guru does teach at the lock and load. Yes, I teach at lock and load. I enjoy teaching that class. It is hands down, like, out of all the classes I've ever taught, whether it's self-defense courses, concealed carry courses. I love teaching the basic safety course. Not just because the curriculum, right? The curriculum, if anyone's taking my class, knows that I'm like, here's our curriculum, and I kind of poo-poo certain ones, like when it comes to grip and stance, etc. The reason I like that class so much is, by the time you take a defensive class, you've already got a permit, you've got a gun, you've been to the range a bunch of times, you already know your basics, and, you know, you're there. I love that class, but why do I love the basic one so much? Because people who have never touched a gun before are there, and in the end of the class, I am going to give them and walk them through their very first gunshots ever. I think that's pretty cool. I try to make it a fun, exciting, and joyful experience. That's just me, though. You know, I mean, it's your first time, and I get to walk you through it. I think it's pretty cool. I really like that. Chewing Bubblegum says very low audio. Man, I don't know what to tell you because my audio on my side, according to the mix, is A-okay. Ardmore Mooney 422-2 says Sam Adams Winter Ale is okay. Old freezing in my favorite this time of year. Well, the reason I have the Sam Adams Winter Ale is we had some people over. They wanted some beer. Mrs. Guru and I are not big alcohol drinkers, but we got this and we had some leftover, so might as well use it before it goes to waste. And I think Mrs. Guru might be stirring around. So listen, guys, last chance. Get those comments in there. Put out the bourbon and the beef jerky for Gun Guru Claus. And we will be giving away clay here in a wee bit. I don't want cookies and milk. Bourbon and beef jerky. Lewis, I need 20 Sadams after I hear the brief from Connecticut. Listen, I had to drink just to get through it, too. Viking Queen says, I can hear you. Louis says, for a 5x5. Frothy Milkshake. Do a review after people find out how to put a switch on it. It's not going to be that hard. They put a switch on the V-Series in under 16 days. Gen 6 will get a switch put on it fairly quickly. Yeah, let's see. Frothy Milkshake, if it hasn't already been done. Here's the deal. Gen 6 isn't even on the market yet. It's not until, I think, January 10th. The only individuals that have a Gen 6 right now are some influencers out there doing reviews, or at least getting up to do their reviews. I reached out to Glock numerous times, and they don't know who I am, nor do they care. Plus, we live in a very restrictive state, so it's like sometimes we're like, what the hell's the point of even dealing with anybody in Connecticut? Lewis says that no take. I'm done with the Glocks. LOL. Okay, that's cool. Review Gen 6 Switch. I am not going anywhere near a Switch, guys. Not going to happen. The video I did about the V-Series Switch was done by an SOT. And it's technically legal for them to do it because they're an 07. So they can modify things like that and make things like that. Regular people like you and I, hells no. Lewis says he's going to the HKVP9 and a PDP. They're not bad. Those are pretty good. Walther PDP is nice. HK is a little expensive, a little pricey, a little bougie. I like SIG. I like Glocks. The Canik is nice too. I really do like the Canik. Yeah, I know it's a Turkish gun, but Canik. Listen, you guys want a really based gun from a gun company that's really based? Ruger RXM. Tong went after him, and they basically told Tong to go ingest a satchel of Richards. They said not only are they keeping the RXM, they're expanding it. So even though Tong's going after him with HB 7042, every town's wanking about it. Apparently, Ruger just don't care. Jumbo will go say of con etiquette. Yeah, it is definitely con. Texted Mrs. Guru to come down with a spinning wheel. so we can give away clay. The Smoke 420 Tire Barbecue Guns. Guns. Yes, I love me some guns. Louis Torres says, get magazine from online. No. Don't order. No, that's bad advice. Do not order magazines online. Bad. You get a standard capacity magazine. That is a big time felony, and if the state catches you, they will hammer you. Yeah, Blue Taurus, there you go. Ruger RXM over the Glock, or CZ, the P10C. Mechanic, the Met 9 is not that bad. It's the same size as a 43X. It's a double stack, so it's thicker, which I like. I don't like the thin profiles, so you should try the Mechanic. Chewing Bubblegum says he prefers the P10F over the G17. Here's the problem, guys. For one of the ways I look at like everyday carry guns is I don't really want to carry it if I'm not willing to take it out to the curb and beat it into a curb to make it work. It's a tool. It's an everyday carry tool. Some of these guns, you guys all like the VP9. I cannot take a VP9 out and beat it into my driveway to make it work. I couldn't do that. They're too expensive. I can do that to a Glock, and I can do it to a SIG. I will not do it to a P320, though. I'm not trying to, unalive myself via my own 320. Yep, Lewis says that he's got a CZ, yada, yada, yada. That's good. True and Bubblegum says, me too, and I agree 100%. Sounds like they changed out the slide stops for the Apex extended version. Connecticut brief. Sound like a fluff piece from Lewis. Lewis also writes, Supreme need to get off their asses and take care of this. Yes. Supreme Court keeps kicking the can down the road. Chewing Bubblegum says, banning open carry is also unconstitutional. You got everybody?
I do.
All right, I'm just scrolling through the chats real quick, guys. See if there's anything that really pops out. Laura Kella 840 says an armed society is a polite one. Damn Skippy. They underreport the crime in Connecticut from Louis Torres. Yes, they do. I guarantee you they cooked the books. Guarantee it. The police chief in D.C. just got, she just quit, and she went on like a tirade. She got caught cooking the books.
Chewing Bubblegum and Lewis, I don't know which one wants it more.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of chats. Mike G writes that he hates the term common sense gun regulations. Yeah, I can't stand that either. Chewing Bubblegum talking trash about the P320. Says even less safe with a SIG P320. Oh. All right, you got everyone plugged in? Mrs. Guru's here off camera. She has got everybody's name plugged in up to this point. And I have it right here. And you can see it. I'm going to tap it. Here we go. Oh, the lights are blowing it out. There we go. Good angle. And the name is Ardmore Moon Y. So Ardmore Mooney 4222. There you go. That is the winner of Clay the Claymore. So how do you get Clay the Claymore? Well, that's easy. You screenshot it for me?
I just did.
Thank you. You have to go to the website, send me a message, name, address, all that good stuff. Let me know you are who you say you are, and we will send Clay your way. Now, including with Clay, we got some stuff here. Included with Clay will come a morale patch, freedom fries. They're just a bunch of bullets inside of a fry container. We have a protected by the Second Amendment sticker. Invest in precious metals, buy brass, copper, and lead. Cool sticker there. Abolish the ATF. Constitution is my permit. Right there. That's nice. This little thing. And what everybody was looking forward to, Mickey Mouse. I don't want to get too close to where you can read it, but these were hard to get, guys, and they're pretty cool. Mrs. Guru's looking at it. So, all of that will go into the package with Clay, and I think Clay comes with his own stickers, all that good stuff, and we'll shoot it off to you. Now, if we don't hear from that individual, how long do you want to wait? A week?
Next Saturday.
Next Saturday. If we don't hear from them, next Saturday, I'll let you guys know. I'll put up a post probably here, or I know we're not doing lives for the rest of the year, but I am still doing videos, especially if things, are like breaking news. I'll let you guys know if Clay's back on the block. And if he is back up on the auction block, up for grabs, then the next live next year will rinse and repeat, and we'll give Clay away again. All right, it is 2000, a little past. So instead of sitting here watching me, go spend time with your families. I will see all of you guys in the next video, and I want to wish all of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I appreciate all the support, all the chats, and everything. And I will see all of you in the next video.